Welcome. r/Fatpeoplestories. Pervy whale at the pool. Apologies, this is a long one. So this happened to me the other night whilst I was at my local swimming pool. For context, it's a small community-run pool that has a tiny gym attached, and an even tinier cafe. Because it's community-run, and I live in near a university, a lot of the staff are older volunteers or students. I've been going to the pool 4 times a week, usually pretty late in the evening, because that's when it's quiet enough to swim laps at my own speed without feeling pressured, or other people getting in my way. Due to going later on at night, I've gotten to know a few of the staff and the other people who regularly swim at this time, even if it's just to say hi to me. 24. 5 FD3 and 176 pounds. I'm definitely not huge, but I do have bits that jiggle, hence all the swimming. Rosemary, in her late 60s, around 5 FD5 and scary fit, runs marathons and lifts giant weights. Badass, I love her. Alex, 16 to 18, around 5 FT10, and built like a beanpole. This boy is all limbs and no fat. He looks like an ungainly gazelle. He is also the lifeguard on duty for this story. Jim Bunny, GB, early 20s, around 5 FT3, really slim and toned. Pervy whale, PW, mid 30s. Only just taller than myself, and GB not good at estimating weight, but this guy was perfectly spherical. More rolls than a bakery. Craig, personal trainer 6 FT2, and built like a bodybuilder. I arrived at the pool at my normal time, said hi to Rosemary and Alex, and then got to work with my usual routine, aiming to swim at least half a mile in my 30-minute slot. At this point, Rosemary and I were the only people there. One part of the pool was cordoned off for lane swimming, so I left that for her as she swims much faster than I do. This left enough room for about 3 people to swim laps in the non-cordoned off section, so I wasn't worried about other people joining us and getting in my way. About 5 minutes into my swim, GB appears and gets into the pool. She hangs about in the shallow end not doing much, and I assumed she was using the pool to cool down after working out. Fair enough, it's hot as hell. Just after she got into the pool, he arrived, PW, wearing what were very clearly not swimming trunks. He was just wearing old looking, grey boxer shorts, his stomach flopping down over them at the front. He scanned the pool, saw GB and waved. He then proceeded to dive into the pool. The tidal wave he created literally nearly drowned me. There was water up my nose and in my mouth, and I came up for air coughing. The ripples even reached Rosemary on the other side of the pool. I can tell from the dagger she is shooting him that she is not happy. He made his way over to GB, and I assumed that they knew each other. I just kept on swimming. Swam back towards the shallow end. At this point, PW has taken to floating on his back right in the middle of the pool, shouting towards GB. He is very much in my way, but I try my hardest to pass him without incident. I fail. My foot makes gentle contact with his giant stomach. Gross. Genuinely thought it might absorb me. PW shouts at me to watch where you're going, you stupid bitch. I apologize as I cannot be bothered to get into an argument. Alex is now watching the situation with fear in his eyes. He does not handle confrontation well. This session is usually full of old dears and pleasant chubsters. Dealing with PW is definitely out of his comfort zone. At this point, I'd got through half of what I wanted to do that evening, so took a rest in the shallow end. Rosemary swims over to join me and tell me about her day. From where we are, we can clearly hear the conversation between GB and PW, by which I mean PW talking and GB nodding. It's at this point we notice that GB looks super uncomfortable. PW, it's like I said to you before, babe. Girls like you don't need to go to the gym. You're hot just the way you are. I mean, that fat girl, gesturing to me, needs to be here, but you should just come get dinner with me instead. I'll show you a good time. Winking. Again, Alex is watching this unfold. He suddenly spots what PW is wearing, probably as it's now going slightly see-through. Alex, excuse me sir, you can't be in the pool without proper swimwear. I'm going to have to ask you to either change into trunks or leave. PW, what the did you just say to me? You don't tell me what to do. Alex, I'm sorry sir, it's the rules. The poor kid was literally shaking. PW, come in and get me then. I'll snap you like a twig. Rosemary, leave the poor boy alone. He's only doing his job. PW. Off you old. No one asked for your opinion. Resemery, furious and climbing out of the pool. It's disgusting coming in here in your underwear. I'm sure you can get some swimming trunks even at your size. If you actually did any swimming you might even be able to buy them in a normal shop. She storms off. PW shouts a few insults after her and turns his attention back to GB. I move into the lane swimming section and carry on swimming trying not to pay PW any more attention. Alex has realized that PW is not going to get out of the pool and is stood there looking like he might cry. I move into the now empty lane swimming section and try to focus on my workout. After a couple of minutes I hear shouting and look back towards the shallow end. Resemery clearly got out of the pool to bring back up in the form of Craig, who is now arguing with PW. I swam back to the shallow end and got to see the end of the spectacle. PW, you have no right to kick me out. Craig, I have every right, and if you don't get out in the next 30 seconds I'm gonna drag you out myself and then call the police. PW obviously realized that Craig was probably capable of this and finally dragged himself up the stairs and out of the pool. PW, to Craig, you think you're better than everyone 'cause you're a roided up Dwayne Johnson Warnabe. Well, steroids shrink your mate, bet yours is tiny. Not a problem I have. He winked at GB again and gestured at the huge roll of flab that was covering his crotch. Craig started walking towards him and PW scurried lumbered away. I assume Craig let him get dressed then escorted him out of the building. As far as I'm aware the police weren't actually called, but PW is banned from the gym and pool. Resemery and I got talking to GB. Turns out that she had never met PW before. She'd been working out in the gym and he'd appeared next to her with a hot chocolate and a cake from the cafe and started talking to her. She'd been really creeped out by the way he was talking to her / staring at her, but whilst she was working out so decided to go to the pool to get away from him. At which point he had followed her and my story began. TL. Dr. Pervy Whale follows pretty girl into the pool wearing only his underwear. Shouts at a teenager. Is made to leave. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe.